Been a pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girls they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything that the dude does is stupid, any kind of abuse, any.
What's up? I know you guys are like, oh my God, is it really her? Yes, it is. It's really me. I tell you, okay, in addition to my aunt having some issues, and we had to, she's old, she's almost 90 years old. We put her in the hospital just to make sure everything was kosher. And, but it's been it rained here, then it got sunny, then it got windy, and that was all it took. Your friend here been like sniffling, blowing her nose. It's been over a week now. I've been dying from allergies. So if I'm congested, you hear me clearing my throat and stuff during the broadcast, that's why. It's nothing to do with the letters being dusty, although it might be a little bit. But generally, it's just, the environment is just awful for people with allergies. This is just not the lick at all. So, let's get started. What's up? Oh no, Wilkerson is here. What the world? What do we deserve? What do we do to deserve this show of hands? Anyway, we got 27 questions today, so guess I better get started. So I said, let me start this show now before I go away from this computer and don't come back. All right, question number one. This young lady's 22 to 27. She's Caucasian European from Derby, England. The male's 20 to 34. Summary issue. Am I being too sensitive or is my boyfriend overly critical? Hi, Deb and ladies. I'm 24 and in a new relationship with a 28-year-old guy, and I'm starting to feel increasingly insecure. I'm trying to figure out whether I have genuine things to work on or if there are real issues in the relationship that I shouldn't ignore. Over time, my boyfriend has made a number of comments about my appearance, my habits, my background. Individually, they might seem small, but together they're starting to feel like a pattern. He has pointed out things like my nose hair being visible to him. Wait, yes, but it's still in the box. That's a good idea. Thank you. I forgot about that. Um, okay, so she has his nose hair, girl. That is not ladylike. Let's do something about that. He suggested my nose is pretty nice, but, quote, the tip would be better pointed up. Wow. So now he wants to get plastic surgery and called me a, quote, hairy woman while repeatedly bringing up the hair that I have on my neck, even if I explained it's related to PCOS. He has also made a comment about my V odor during intimacy, which caught me off guard because I've never had that feedback before. Beyond appearance, he's made comments about my lifestyle and identity. He has said I don't dress up enough lately. I'm currently in a very intense study period. He's criticized my cooking while saying I did better than he honestly expected and made remarks about needing to, quote, teach me how to clean and be more cultured. He also made a comment about Black people not seasoning their food much, which felt uncomfortable and personal to me. And that's a damn lie anyway. You must not have seen all these TikTok videos of white people eating Black food for the first time and like going crazy because of the seasonings. Like we have so many seasonings in our cabinets. We need like 2 or 3 cabinets. Whereas you got a lot of white people, they just need like one little rack or something. And cumin, y'all love cumin. I don't know what that's about. Salt, pepper, and cumin seems to be good in y'all's households. So he frames all this as fostering honesty in our relationship. For example, yesterday he compared pointing out my nose hair to me telling him he had something in his teeth, saying it's the same kind of helpful feedback. However, I don't experience these things as equivalent. One feels like a quick situational fix, or the other feels like ongoing criticism of my body. I've noticed that I'm starting to feel insecure about things I never used to think twice about, and I don't feel as comfortable or confident around him as I did at the beginning. What should I do in this situation? You should break up. Why is this even a question? First of all, I know you're young, you 22 to 27. This guy's older than you. So he's got way more experience than you. He's also got more bitterness in his body than you do. So what you have to do, what you have to understand is when you are in a relationship, that person's supposed to be building you up, at least not tearing you down. I mean, you could stay, on an even keel. I mean, you're not looking for them to do any work to make you feel better. But ideally, you're someone would compliment you and encourage you and support your dreams and things like that. Even if they just did, words, it would be helpful for you. Okay, but you have somebody every time you turn around, he's finding something to nitpick and break you down about. And I'm wondering what you get out of this relationship. A little weenie? You can get that from anybody. That's practically blowing up and down the street like leaves. Dudes begging women to give them a chance for that their little stuff. So I mean, if that's why you stick around with him, please don't do that. But I want you to think about how you're feeling versus how you should be feeling. And when you see that the relationship is coming up short, that is hurting you, is not making you feel good, then you have to ask yourself, why am I here? And then once you arrive at that, then it'll be very easy for you to say, you know what, get lost. You're just a dusty bum. I don't have any time for you. Especially you'll be talking about black folks cooking. And sure he don't know what the shit he talking about. Right, y'all? He don't know what he talking about. Miracle Whip. Oh yeah. I met a girl, she had me touch, she made some potato salad at my house. And she said, oh, make sure you have some Miracle Whip. And I said, what is that? I was just playing with her. Of course, I knew what it was, but I've never bought it. And she's like, oh, that's what I use in my potato salad. I said, you're not going to be using that for the potato salad I'm eating. You're going to use mayo. And at the time, I was using Best Foods. Now I use this kind called Just Mayo. It's plant-based, but to me, it tastes better. It's more expensive, but it has better, much better flavor. So now we use Just Mayo in this house. And so I don't know what that was all about. Miracle Whip. I like, what is it made out of? Does it even have eggs in it? I mean, maybe it's good for people that have egg allergies or something, but I don't have any such thing. So I want to real mayo. Ooh, Lord. Question number 2, you poor girl. This lady's 35 to 41. She's from Portland. The male's 50 to 56. Summer issue. How do I support my husband after he did something super dumb? I know my summary sounds harsh, but I'm kind of struggling with this. My husband and I have been together for 5 years. We also work for the same company and carpool to and from work a lot. Our young child is daycare at our office, so it's the three of us arriving and leaving together most days. She said, maybe this is relevant. I don't know. My husband left his laptop on top of the car yesterday when we left work. Despite me suggesting so many times that he get a case and also that he not set his computer on top of the car, he does this every single day. Probably once a week, he can't find his computer and panics that he left it on top of the car. It's usually in the back seat or something. But this time, the dreaded thing actually happened. We got home last night. He couldn't find the computer and was panicking that he left it on the car. I assured him it was probably still sitting on his desk at work, but he wasn't there. It wasn't there this morning. He had security check the cameras, and sure enough, we pulled out of the parking lot with it on the roof. To make things a million times worse, he's been working on a huge, complex spreadsheet for months, and despite the fact that our company migrated all the files to SharePoint over a year ago, he told me today that his spreadsheet was saved on the desktop. Since the cloud migration, you actually have to work to save something locally on your desktop, on your computer. I love my husband. I know he's absolutely beyond devastated about losing all his hard work. I want to hug him and tell him I love him and that it will all be okay. But I also want to slap the frost out of him because, dude, what the fuck? You did not one but two insanely dumb things, and this is your punishment. Overall, I'm a nice person, so I won't say I told you so. Instead, I'll just be there to comfort him. But wow, what would you do if you or me and your partner was extremely depressed over their own poor choices? Oh, I would laugh. Not only would I laugh, I would do like the black folks laugh where they point at you, lean back, lean forward, slap my knees, and then you know how we run around, we got to run around. We have like traveling laughs. So I would run around and I would laugh at him. Then I would start all over again. That's what I would do. I would rub it in because you told him not once, you probably told him 20 times not to do it. He wanted to be hard. He wanted to do it his way. So, my grandfather used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. And that's what your husband is experiencing right now. That just makes no sense. Makes no sense to be that stupid and put a laptop on the top of your car and it don't even have a case. Who does that? When you open the door, like with me, when I open the door, I throw mine in on the passenger seat. And then when I get in the car, I move it down underneath because I don't want people looking at my car seeing I have a laptop in there at stop signs and stuff. So I put it under the front seat. Oh yeah, honey, we got to move around when we left. I call those traveling laughs because we get up and we walk away, or we run off and run around in a circle, run to the next room. I mean, it's a black thing. We all do that. So that's what I would do if you asked me what I would do, that's what I would do. Would I pat him up and make him feel better? Hell to the no. Nope, he would suffer all and any repercussions from that stupid decision. And every time I look at him, if my lips didn't say the words, I told you so, I would be giving him that look like, I told you, you stupid motherfucker. So he would get the same message even if my lips didn't move. My eyes and my facial expression would say the same thing. Actually, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is unbelievable. Oh, May Days is shaping up really nice. I've booked 4 guests, confirmed 4 people. That's probably enough. Maybe one more. Because I was looking for y'all to send me some topics and y'all is lagging. People send topics in, links to articles and stuff. So I have some help coming up with something to talk about for 12 hours. That's 4 hours a day for 3 days. So, there's still time though, because we're not talking, it's a month away, more than a month away. All right, question number 3. This young lady's 20 to 34. She says she's of mixed racial heritage from Dallas, Texas. Summary of her issue. I think my friendship with my best friend might be ending after her wedding, and I don't really know how to handle it. I recently attended my best friend's 10-day wedding, and what should have been a happy time has turned into something really confusing and honestly hurtful. We are both 29 now and have been close for years, around a decade or more. And over the last couple of years, I've moved to a different state for work. I've changed a bit. I'm more independent now, more vocal, and not as much of a people pleaser as I used to be. During the wedding, I tried to be there for everything and just go with the flow. I understand it's her big event, so obviously things don't revolve around me. But there were small things that kept adding up, like constantly being told to adjust, even basic things like where to sleep. I didn't react much, but if I said anything even slightly, it was always taken the wrong way. After the wedding, she confronted me and said I've changed, that I'm immature, I'm too outspoken, even Gen Z, and that I, quote, outshined her at her own wedding because people were asking about me. That part confused me. She got upset because I complimented her mother in law's breakfast. I'm a foodie and said it genuinely, but she took it as me trying to make an impression and said it should have been her moment. Okay, you this girl is too insecure for you to be bothered with. She's so jealous of you right now she can't even see straight. Let's see what else she did. There were also comments from the bride's other friend, like, why are you always trying to act smart? And do you like someone here? Is that why you're trying to impress people? Which honestly didn't make sense to me. I was just having normal conversations with people from the groom side whenever they spoke to me first. Now I'm also hearing that even photos are being taken the wrong way. In one of the photos, I'm standing with her family. I'm one in one, I'm in the center. But I didn't put myself there. They called me to join. That's where the photographer put me. And during important moments like welcoming the groom, I made sure to step aside. Another thing that really threw me off was that she was questioning me about being, quote, too friendly with her husband. She asked how long I've known him and why I was talking to him like that. For context, I met him a few times before, maybe 4 or 5, and we'd even spoken on the phone, so it's not like he was a complete stranger. I was just being normal and polite. I felt it really strange to be questioned like that, as if there was some kind of intention behind it, especially because from what I know, she herself was in touch with her ex even around the wedding time. So the whole thing just felt very confusing and a bit hypocritical to me. It feels like normal things I did are being overanalyzed or turned into something negative. I understand it was her wedding and emotions can run high, but I didn't expect things to turn into this. At this point, I feel like something has shifted between us. I'm not sure if this is something that can be talked through or if it's already too far gone. How do I approach a conversation with her about this without making things worse? And how do I figure out whether this friendship is worth trying to fix or if I should just step back? No, you should just not only step back, girl, but throw your hands up. I mean, not just step like run, do a jump back. You know how they do that thing where they say, they want people to step forward? Well, you should be the one that steps back and just leave her in the front like that. This girl, you have totally outgrown her. There's and that's what happens around your age. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. Saturn's return around 27, 28 years old. So it's like that, people that you were really, really good friends with, either you all change together or you all break up. In this case, you've left, you've been more independent, you've left that little, tightly knit area where everybody's all interlinked. You struck out on your own. That made you have to use some inner reserves and challenge yourself in ways that they haven't had to experience yet. Plus, got your career going. You're living on your own. I mean, you know, your lifestyle is just very different. They are so jealous of you and feeling so insecure about their lackings that there's no room for you there. Don't try to force it. Don't try to make a conversation about it. Don't question her about it. Just leave it alone. If I were you, actually, I would go on my phone and I would block all of them. Any numbers you have for them girls back home, block them. So, because what you don't want is to have to be put in a position to be defending yourself. You don't owe them bitches any kind of explanation. You don't owe them any kind of thank yous, kudos, excuses, thoughts, concerns, nothing. Nothing. You owe them zero. So just block them. I mean, it's not like they, your besties and, you getting all this benefit from having a relationship with them. Okay. Sometimes, you just gotta, even with friendships, whether it's relationship or of just a platonic friendship, even if it's with the same gender, sometimes you just gotta weigh the cost, do a cost benefit analysis, and you see it's costing way too much and more than it's benefiting. You let it go. Let it go. Yeah. I wouldn't be buying. Ooh, this is some gross wine. I got it on sale. I should have known better. Question number 4. This is a female, 22 to 27. It's African American from Sacramento, California. Same issue. My boyfriend embarrassed me in public, and I'm not sure how to address it. I'm 23, and I've been dating this guy who was 27 for about 8 months. Oh, that seems to be the magic number. Have you guys noticed how many times we get letters and it's 8 months, 8 months, 8 months? Something's going on around the 8 month mark. It used to be 6, but now it seems to be 8. He took me to a place I'd been wanting to go down in Vacaville, which I really appreciated. And he spent a decent amount of money on the date. But for most of the time, he was on his phone watching a basketball game and barely engaging with me. I was grateful, but I still left feeling kind of disappointed and ignored. What really bothered me happened after when we went to Sephora. I was picking up some eye patches I've been wanting to try and planned to get just one box, but he encouraged me to get a second one on him. I even joked about him trying to get them with me, and he said he didn't need them because he, quote, looks too good. I laughed it off. Then the sales associate mentioned that they work really well and joked that he might end up using them too. We all laughed, but then he repeated his comment about looking too good and added that I actually need them. It got awkward, and even the sales associate said that that wasn't okay. Instead of dropping it, he doubled down and went on for a couple of minutes about how I don't get enough sleep when I don't go to bed when I should, or when he tells me to. I've been like, mother, you ain't my daddy. I felt really embarrassed in that moment. I had a bit of an attitude after, and he did apologize, but it still bothered me for the rest of the day. He does it in private, not often, but enough for me to notice. I used to ignore it because I didn't want to seem uptight, but looking back, it's definitely not okay. He joked about me not cooking, made comments about my feet being big, and told me to try on his shoes to clown me. I refused. And even joked about my nose being huge the day before this situation. These are the only times that they still bother me. They obviously bother you if you can recount each and every one of them. I didn't want to seem ungrateful since he spent money on me, and part of me feels like I might be overreacting a bit, but at the same time, it felt belittling, and I can't really shake it. Now I'm conflicted about whether I should address it more seriously or just leave it alone and see if it happens again. Well, you 8 months in, and so the kid gloves are off, the little sheepskin has come off, and the wolf is showing. Now you see what he really is. This is somebody who wants to get in the, he thinks it's okay to make all these negative, nasty comments about you. So see, the difference is you didn't do what I taught women, what I tell women to do here all the time. You have to lob grenades right back. Okay, so he was ignoring you while you were, on this date. Why would you stay on a date with someone that's ignoring you? Why would you not say, you know what? It seems like you have other things that you need to do, so why don't we just go back to SAC and call it a day? You could have done that. You have every right to do that. Because he probably would have said, well, you brought me all the way down here. Yeah, I brought you down here for a date. I didn't bring you down here so I could sit here and look at you watch a basketball game. I said, you could have done that at home. You don't need me to do that. You don't need an audience for me to watch you watch a basketball game on your phone. That's not a date. So let's just cut this short. Get a to-go bag and put yourself in the car and go back to SAC. That's what you should have done. See, but you tolerated the bullshit. Okay, so he gonna up the ante. So y'all go to Sephora and he tells you to get a second box on him. Seeing as how he had already acted a fool, why would you do that? You're supposed to say, no, I can only use one at a time. This is fine. If you want to get me one later, you can give me one later. Right now, I'm just going to get one. See, you have every right to do that. Why didn't you do that? Why did you let him put himself in a position of power over your purchase? That's what you did by thinking, oh, I'm going to get something free. He's going to do this for me. It's going to be a nice thing or whatever, when he wasn't being nice to you for the whole date. You see how this thinking goes? You have to think, you have to think about the man's actions and what those actions mean. You guys just can't go through life like this, all willy-nilly and brand new. This just makes no sense. So some of the stuff, it happened. I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying you put yourself in a position and you allowed things to snowball to the point where he just kept going because you never checked him. You never told him to stop. You never did anything that would set up a boundary. You didn't do it. And so then now you're like, well, should I stay and let it happen again? So see, he talking about he looks too good. It's like, no, you don't. You must need some glasses or some shit they don't sell on at Sephora. Too bad. It's like you just an average ninja. You ain't nothing special. You supposed to break him off a piece. When he want to start talking about you, you talk about him too. It's like your ass is delirious. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You really ain't that all of that. You break them down just like they try to break you down. I never let a man get away with no shit like that. And then don't let me take a deep breath and don't let me know some real dirt about you or some shit some other women said about you. Then I'm gonna spill it all. I'm gonna spill all the beans, all of them, and have you walk away with me from me with your tail tucked between your legs, looking stupid because you shouldn't have opened your mouth. So once you open your mouth and you start talking shit about me, all bets are off, and I'm going for your jugular. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make you hurt. I'm gonna make you cry. You're gonna be like one of them like soul damaged men talking about my ego, my ego. Yeah. I can't with dudes like this. And then he gonna be like doubling down. Even the social sales associate said it wasn't okay. And then he went on for talking about how you don't go to sleep and all this kind of stuff. Why did you not tell him shut up? Just shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear your lecturing. You ain't my daddy. You don't tell me when to go to bed. You done lost your nigga mind. Why did you not tell him something like that? You just let him clown you in front of all those people at Sephora and the clerk who already thinks something is crazy about the two of you. Yeah, you just let him do that to you. Why are you taking that kind of treatment? And you didn't say nothing. And then you're gonna come down here. Okay, so all that happened, that's in one day in a couple hours. Then you're gonna say down here that he does it in private, but he jokes about you not cooking. He made comments about your feet being big. Say, well, my feet might be big. I wish your dick was. That might be a good thing, you know? Stuff like that. I mean, you gotta clown them back. You're not hitting them back. You just letting them say these things. You just sit there and look at them. I'm sure I can see your face now. Just sitting there looking at them. That's not how you do men like this. You crush them so they don't get like this inflated opinion of themselves like he has. Like, he looks too good. Clown, I don't know who told you that shit. And anything, what you should, before you break up with him, anything that he spent money on you, give it back to him. Put it all in a Ziploc bag and a bag of something, hefty bag, something, and give him all his little shit back. So you don't want nothing that he bought. You don't want nothing to do with him, and to get lost and stay out your life. What's up, Shay? This dude is just like the dusty king of the world. And Shay, they from Sac too. Good thing you didn't hear the question. You would have got mad. Okay, question number 5. This young lady's 20 to 34. She's Asian from Santa Clara, California. The male in question, same age group, and he's Caucasian white. Sort of issue. My boyfriend just assumes that he's staying over without asking me anymore, and it's getting on my nerves. So I've been dating this guy for about 5 months, and things are going really well. I'm 28, and my parents are Asian immigrants. He's 30 and white. I have my own place where he still crashes at his folks' house. Usually he ends up staying over once or twice during the week, mostly Fridays and Saturdays. Don't get me wrong, I love having him around and spending time together, but lately he stopped asking if he can stay tonight and just acts like it's a given that he's going to be here all weekend. This is really starting to get under my skin. I work landscaping during the week, but I also pick up weekend gigs that have weird hours. Sometimes I don't get home until really late, and when it happens, I just end up crashing alone in my own bed. It's an overstimulation thing, and I've already explained this to him before. How did I bring this up without sounding like a complete jerk? I want him to go back to asking instead of just assuming he's welcome to camp out here, whatever he feels like. Well, that's up to you. This is again when you need to open your damn mouth. You're not saying nothing. What's wrong with you girls? And you in the 28 to 34 age group. So you 28 years old, you are almost 30 years old, and you sitting up there not speaking up about putting a boundary in place for your own house. Are you kidding me right now? I do not get this at all. I understand. All you have to do is tell them, look, I have some weekend work I can't see you this weekend. I have some stuff to do. I need my weekend to myself. Or I'm gonna be going out with the girls. So I'm like, you can't come over because they're gonna come over after we go out there. We're gonna have a girls' night. Whatever, even if it's a lie. Tell him to stay his ass over there with his parents and go see his friends or something. He shouldn't be at your house using up your resources because they don't never bring nothing when they come, like soap, you know, toothpaste, toothbrush, all this kind of. They don't never bring any toilet tissue, paper towels. Food. They don't ever bring nothing. So basically, you providing all his weekend entertainment, plus giving up some free booty too. Hell to the no. He wouldn't be able to come to my house more than once a month rather. Once a month, that's all you get. The rest of my other 3 weekends, I want them to myself. And in the months with 5 Saturdays, I'm gonna see you still once, and I'm at 4 weekends by myself. That's what we gonna do. So I don't understand why you can't say that to him. Why you can't say, we're going to see each other no more than two. You can come over no more than 2 weekends per month, and we need to talk about which 2 weekends there are. Those are because I have side jobs I need to schedule. But you can't say that. And if he gets mad, which is probably what you're afraid of, he'll be like, "Well, God, I won't even be able to see you." It's like, well, maybe you should try getting you a job on the weekend too. We'll both have more money and both have something else to do. What you think about that? And see what he says. See, instead of him complaining about the fact that you got your hustle on and you make it and he's trying to keep you at home to be looking at him, you tell him what he needs to be doing so he matches you instead. See, you girls, I don't know why I just don't get it. What kind of relationship y'all be having. Question number 6. This is a female in the 18 to 21 year. That too. She's 18 to 21. She's white from Brighton, East Sussex in the UK. The male's 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend keeps saying that he DIE without me or unalive himself as a joke, and sometimes it just doesn't feel like one. I've been speaking to someone online for about 2.5 years now. Okay, this is a fantasy online relationship. I'm now 20 and he is 22. I know this sounds ridiculous, but within the past few months, we got very attached to one another. No, you didn't. You got attached to a fantasy of what you think he is. We've never met in person. See, I knew it. But we speak every day and all day and exchange pictures of ourselves and our days. Recently, he's been making jokes that he relies on me solely for his happiness and that he'd die or his heart would die without me and that he'd unalive himself. I don't know what to do. The relationship feels extremely suffocating because of how incessantly we talk, and I don't know how to let him down gently or balance his feelings. I don't even know if what he's doing counts as something bad because we have made darker jokes before, And usually I play along, but now it feels more serious. Any advice on how to deal with this and break things off without hurting him? Yes, it's called changing your number. Or you could just go in and block him. And then you send him an email and say, all this talk about you unaliving yourself is freaking me out. I don't want to do this anymore. So that in case somebody comes into your place and finds a body, I don't want them calling me about it. But see, I'm the kind, I'm so evil. I done told y'all. People still try to threaten me with that. I had just one dude try to do that, to tell me that, if I didn't do whatever, I can't remember what it was he wanted me to do. I was in college at the time. But he wanted me to do that he was going to unalive himself. And I just looked at him. I said, I double dare you to do it. And then I said, well, are you going to have a funeral? What kind of flowers do you want me to bring? I paid him no mind at all. I just let him know I straight did not give a fuck about what you plan to do because I don't want to look at you no more. Know what I mean? Don't be trying to promise me a good time, because that would be like a party time for me. Because that would be like a twofer. We would be broken up forever, and I would never have to worry about seeing your stupid ass again. So to me, that's a twofer. That's a bonus. So I was like, oh, yeah. I just don't, you know, don't try to threaten me. So that's what I would suggest that you do. That's what I suggest that you do. Okay. Because you can't have somebody trying to manipulate and control you like this with those kind of threats. You've never even met him in person. Ooh, and we are attached to each other. Girl, you need your butt kicked for that one. Question number 7. This is a female, 28 to 34. She's African American from Philadelphia. Summary of issue: would you forgive your partner for taking pictures of random younger girls in public? Okay, y'all is 28 to 34, so well, I'm wondering how much younger, like teenagers. He tried to act like I was batshit crazy for crashing out over it. To me, it's creepy and inappropriate and shows he just sees females as objects and obviously prefers the younger objects. No, we're not together anymore. I just can't see that anyone in their right mind would forgive that. Hold on. Would forgive that or stay with someone like that. He was begging me to go to therapy with him. If you're some guy that does shit like this, ROT, what does that mean? Deb, what do you think? How would you have handled this? Oh, the same way that you did, but I probably would have taken screenshots and make sure he knew it, and then said, and then if I hear about you doing anything to any younger women, I'm gonna report you to the police because now I have evidence that you're stalking and taking illegal pictures. So that shows a creep that you're a creepy person. And I'll let him know that I have such evidence in the cloud. That's just gross. At least you found out though. Question number 8. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's African American from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Summary of issue: older couple X drama. I'm hoping for your quote kind thoughts. I don't have kind thoughts. You're writing to the wrong person. I only have evil thoughts. A close friend called and said that she found out that the man she has been dating for almost 8 years has been texting with a former girlfriend and making plans to meet up with her. Deb, and she put like a whole bunch of exclamation marks. They are old as hell. She is 69 and he is 74. Wait, what? You lie. Okay. Let me shut up until I see what else you got to say. My friend found, I wonder, okay, she's 69. Okay. My friend found out when he left his phone on the table and she looked at his text. When she confronted him, he told her that the woman had recontacted him and that he was planning to stand her up and then tell her that since she had done that to him in the past, he wanted to teach her a lesson and not have anything more to do with her. My friend is very attached to this man, but feels that this is BS and doesn't know what to do. Any thoughts before I get back with her? Yes, you to tell him to go because see, he might be going because they on their last leg, that one foot on the on the ground and one on the banana peel stage of life. So, I would just sit rub it in. I would say, well, your ass is old and gray. So maybe you should see her so you can have closure and stuff before you croak and before she does, one or the other. I would say, so, yeah, you better do that and get that closure that you need. And I would send him on his way. The reason why I would do that is because I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't trip on men. I don't trip on nothing about a man. Nothing. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. I seriously mean that. I don't care. What I care about is, well, no, say the woman came to my house. Say this is my house. You coming to my house if I didn't invite you, that's a boundary violation and disrespect for me. Now I'm gonna go off. But am I gonna go off because I'm jealous of him? No. I'm gonna go off because you disrespected me in my house. You see how I roll? It doesn't have nothing to do with him. This has to do with me. This is my house, bitch. I don't know you. I didn't invite you in my house. You don't get to come to my house unless I tell you that you can come. So you just showing up? Mm-mm. And I don't care about what he said because, if he wanted to see you, he could go meet you somewhere else. He could go to your house. Y'all could go park in the car at the park. I don't care what you do. But one thing you're not going to do is bring no outside dirt, influence, drama, negativity, or energy up in the place that I live. We're not going to do that. So those are the kind of things I have my limits and my boundaries. Other than that, I don't care what they do. So, she's attached and she don't know what to do with it. I mean, the man is 70 something years old. I mean, what she think he gonna do? All he gonna be able to do is hold her hand and fantasize about when he used to be able to get a whole bunch of stuff going on. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, let's move on. Question number 9. This is a young lady, 42 to 49. Well, I guess she ain't that young. 42 to 49, Latina from Pensacola, Florida. So issue. My boyfriend of 9 years told me that he wants to take a break for 3 months as he doesn't love me as much as before, and he also wants to figure out his life. Okay. Deb, I'm devastated. We had issues and fights last year, but not so bad that he would fall out of love with me. He just turned 50 and says he wants more to life and wants to see where life will take him without me around. Okay, so he's 50, he's having his midlife crisis. I begged him for a chance to try again. He then asked for 2 to 3 months to see if he will be able to love me again. Last year, I was extremely stressed with my mom's cancer, and I really didn't have enough time for him. He was very sweet and patient, but in my stress, I created a lot of fights and also didn't have much time for him. I'm in a better space now mentally, and he hits me with this break. I've been crying for 3 days and nights. Will he ever come back to me? Why would you want a man back who told you that he doesn't love you uh, as much as he did before? Have you no pride at all? Why would you beg somebody to be with you that tells you to your face that they don't love you anymore? That means they don't want to be with you. Why would you beg them to stay? I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, he was very I mean, he just he's trying to be patient with her because, they have been together for many years, and he can see that she's hurting, I mean, he doesn't sound like a mean dude. But he was very honest, but he can see, she's struggling with it. So he threw her that little bone, well, let's make it for a couple of months and then we'll see. But basically, that's just prolonging the inevitable. So she's hanging on to that, oh, after these 3 months, he'll come back to me kind of thing. He ain't coming back. He's not coming back. He doesn't want you, which you should have known by the fact that you had to date him for 9 months, 9 years rather. Who dates somebody for that long, especially in your age group? So that should have been a sign right there that he didn't want you like what you thought he did. He want to be with you like that. And now he found somebody that he does want to be with. He's not telling you that, but that's what this is. To figure himself out. He's trying to figure out what's going to happen with this other chick that he met, that he feels passion for. He's not just drifting along in a 10-year relationship that, he's in just because it's a habit. He's going to be with someone who excites him, someone who stirs his blood, makes his blood boil, that he thinks about day and night. That's what he wants. And that's what he's going to try to see if he can find with this other person that he's met recently. But in the meantime, you not really don't want to accept that. So you want to hang on to him and beg and grovel like you have no dignity whatsoever. Please understand, ladies who like to do this kind of stuff, the man will never respect you. And a man cannot love a woman that he does not respect. So you thinking that you gonna keep him with you through hook and crook and all these little tricks and machinations. Basically, he might be there physically just waiting for you to get a clue, but he's still not gonna love you. And in the meantime, his disgust of you is growing on a daily basis because you acting stupid, you're not acting dignified, you have no pride, no self-esteem, and he's sitting there looking at you like this is a stupid bitch. What in the world does she think that I would want with her? That's what he's thinking. So, you're not doing yourself a favor by great begging him like that. Okay. This is unfortunate in Pensacola, Florida. Let it go, girlfriend. You're only in the 42 to 49 age group. That's young enough to find you somebody else. Question number 10. This is a male, 28 to 34. He's of mixed racial heritage from Vacaville, California. Summary of the issue. Is she interested in me? So over the past few weeks, this woman has been coming into my job while babysitting. She started initiating conversations with me about personalish stuff, like how tired she feels, cutting out chai, late night snacks, etc. But one day we had a really strong interaction where we talked for about 30 minutes, laughed and swapped stories about kids being brutal, getting told F you by a toddler, etc. We introduced ourselves, and she even asked me questions like, "Are you local?" And she mentioned that she was raised in the UK, which was a cool coincidence. The conversation was so good, she completely forgot about her babysitting duties. I had to remind her of it. She even came back to continue the conversation after briefly tending to the kids, which felt like a legit sign that she was enjoying talking to me and was maybe sort of into me. The kids basically walked up to her by the end of the conversation to get her attention. After this exchange, I was feeling confident that I wasn't misreading. So on Tuesday, I asked her if she'd like to grab coffee sometime. She said, sure, yes, but had a poker face on the entire time. I didn't really detect a whole lot of enthusiasm. I then gave her my number on a piece of paper. What you do that for if you didn't detect enthusiasm? That's where we're supposed to stop, homie. Because of her poker face, I had assumed she might not be interested or something, but she actually wound up texting me about an hour later saying, hey, it's so and so. That day, we texted a bit about pets and comfort shows for about an hour before the conversation just sort of stopped. It felt like she was carrying the conversation. Basically, she didn't ask me anything about myself. Okay, so then she texted the next day. Okay, so then what's the issue here? It was a good conversation before she had to go. She actually had a bad bit more to contribute this time. At one point, she said she saved the other stories for coffee, which to me sounded like she was still open to going. The issue is the planning side. When I tried to narrow down some days, it stayed vague. She said the weekend next week was pretty open, but then Saturday didn't work, and Monday was only a maybe. There's more I'll let you know than anything concrete. She's a substitute teacher, babysits a few days a week on top of it, so I know her schedule can be genuinely inconsistent. But at the same time, she's off for spring break next week, so it does seem sort of like she really wanted to make it happen. She'd make it a little easier. I haven't heard from her since Wednesday, and I'm having doubts I'll hear anything soon. I don't want to chase or keep sending messages, and I also don't want to create any awkwardness since this started at my workplace. So I'd really love to know what you make of her demeanor. Does she seem uninterested, or am I just overthinking everything? What is the best move here? I'm thinking I should probably stop texting completely until she reaches out to me herself to offer a day and time. And if she doesn't reach out, then I have my answer, unfortunately. That's right. 'Cause see, you up the ante by pushing her to take your number. I would never have recommended that. You had already picked up that she wasn't interested. So you offering her number put her in a position where she pretty much had to take it, especially since she sees you as part of her job. Just like it's your workplace, her going in there is part of her work as well. Do you see the dilemma there for her? She would have to see you whether she took your number or not. So the easiest thing to do and the most polite and less stress was going to be happening is for her to take your number and text you a few times about some bullshit, which is what she did, just to, make things so that if she went into the store again with the kids, it could be a friendly exchange. That's why she did that. Now, if she's not responding to you in any way that indicates that she has any further interest in you. Okay. I don't know why this is so hard for you to understand because a woman who's interested in a man, you don't have to ask trust. You don't have to write letters like this. We be texting you and calling you and making excuses to come to where you are so you see us there. It's not a date, but we gonna show up where we know that you are, right? Right? Like we gonna show up because it's we gonna be in the scene in the vicinity. So you can see us and be like, oh hi. If we act like we didn't know you was there. Oh my God, what are you doing here? Knowing full well that's why we're there, because we was hoping to see you. That's how women act when they really like you. They want you to take them out. They want to be with you. They invent excuses to see you. The fact that she's not doing any of those things means that she's not interested the way that you want her to be. Okay? So let this go. Move on. Question number 11. This is a young lady, 22 to 27. She's white from Renton, Washington. Summary issue. I've been involved with a guy for 18 months. I connected with him on, a swipey thing. I won't say the name of it. We've never met in person. We only FaceTime a couple of times, and it's mostly on WhatsApp. He says the reason we haven't met in person yet is because of his anxiety and his general mental health after witnessing several traumatic experiences. He lives an hour away from me, but every time he tries to drive over, he has panic attacks behind the wheel when he gets to a certain place due to an accident where he and his mate were hit by a drunk driver and his mate was killed. It was a hit and run. He also says he is, quote, worried I won't like him and constantly doubts himself because his previous relationship was volatile on her part. You don't know that. She's not here to defend herself. She cheated, and when he confronted her, she cut him. Wow, he should be a screenplay, write screenplays. Last week, a person who I thought was a friend posted a picture I had showed her on Facebook without his consent onto a group called Are We Dating the Same Guy? And this made things worse for us. Apparently, this so called friend got anonymous comments on the post from other women saying they had arranged to go on dates he never showed, etc., but wouldn't tell me or show me the posted comments to, quote, protect those women's privacy. So I asked him about it. Why would you do that? Wow. He told me that after we had a huge argument, he went back on the dating sites as he thought we had broken up for good, and that yes, he had reached out to other women, but never went on the arranged dates. He said it was because his love for me stopped him, and I'm the only woman that he wants. Ironically, the post got deleted after my friend, quote, told me about it. Was it malicious to try and drive a wedge between us? We're really strong, and now he's downing himself again. Girl, wait a minute. Didn't you say we FaceTime, we never met in person, but we're really strong and you're going through all these changes. Okay, there must be something about the mentality of these women that I just, it's like over my head. I just don't get it. You ain't never seen the clown. You ain't never been on no date with the clown. You ain't the clown's girlfriend. You've never held his hand. You never even sat next to him or stood next to him. You've never kissed him. You don't have no kind of relationship in the real world with this man. Every single thing that you talk about is a fantasy in your mind created through conversation. Nothing about the words that he uses can be verified. You don't have any clue if what he's saying to you is true, but you just running with it, basing your whole life on it and willing to fight with your friends and fall out and do all kind of Inspector Clouseau investigations with some strangers on Facebook about a clown that you ain't never met, don't know if what he told you is true, ain't never stood next to, never held his hand, ain't in a relationship with. I just want to spell these details out for you because I feel like you are tripping to like the 10th power. You just really seriously own one. You He does not love you. What he's trying to do is set up a situation where you're going he can't come to you because he got all this angst and this PTSD and stuff. So what he's trying to do is set up all these women on the online platform with this sad tale so that all of you desperate bras will drive to wherever he is this hour or so away and give up the booty and then go back home. That's what he's looking for. He wants delivery booty. That's all he's looking. He don't have to take you nowhere because his PTSD. He can't drive. He can't do nothing. He can't go anything for you. He's got all these alleged, mental issues and stuff. Why would you want to date somebody that's mentally ill? They told you up front. You supposed to say, well, as soon as they say they crazy, is block them. Your ass is not a shrink. You can't treat him. And even if you were a shrink, treating him for free would be stupid. Girl, oh, Shay, oh, I got some wine. It ain't strong enough. I need some hen for these people. Can you imagine how I'm gonna feel after 3 days of 4 hours live streams? If I get a bunch of letters like this, I'm gonna be crazy. Woo! All right. I hope you understand here. Feel bad that you're as old as you are, and I had to walk you through this and think for you in this. What I really think is somebody that's as naive and don't have no game as you, stay off the apps. Stay off the apps because you just like got a target on your forehead. Like I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I don't know nothing. Just sit. I'll just buy every wolf ticket that you have and you can set me up to use me. That's the image that you're giving because you don't have no street smarts whatsoever. Just dumb. Stay off the apps. Okay. You gonna be one of those women that ends up a victim because you just don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't think about things right and you're totally unrealistic about your perceptions. Question number 12. This is a female 20 to 35. It's supposed to be actually 34, Middle Eastern from Burbank, California. So I issue, how can I bring him around about having more kids? I usually speak to his family who know him best, but I don't want to tire them out for doing that for everything. I remember the first time we fought, it was because he thought I had said something offensive, but it was a big misunderstanding as he had misheard. When he's in a bad mood, he prefers to be on his own for a few hours, then pretends like everything is okay. I am the same, but we can talk about it after we've both calmed down. This argument is over children, as I had told him I hated them, so he thought I really didn't want any, only just one. But to be honest, I just don't want to live with children like the ones I know who are feral and dang and badly brought up, always screaming and misbehaving. That's what I meant. He has a big family, a lot of siblings, and two of them have autism and are always screaming and don't let him sleep. So at most he wants one child, but I always envision having more of them. I can't imagine having just one child and never getting to go through that again. He is ill right now, so I feel bad about it, but I don't want to be around him right now either. As I asked him if he wants a cuddle, he just said no, just to spite me. He loves cuddles because I said I wanted more children. Okay. Allowing for the fact that English might not be your first language and, your sentence structure and, a way to phrase your sentences and convey your thoughts is a little off. Okay, I'm gonna catch you some slack for that. But the general the general direction and the general tone of your letter speak to someone who don't know what the hell she's talking about, don't know what the hell she wants, and is just being in a stupid situation trying to talk about having a baby with a man that's got autism like front and center in his family. You don't know. I mean, if you can see the evidence of it right there in the first generation, why would you want to have children with a man who's got that in his bloodline? People say, oh, you talk about eugenics. I don't care what you want to call it. When you can look at somebody and you see they got fucked up shit in their genes and chromosomes, why would you intentionally go and gamble to make sure, see if your kids have those same afflictions? Why would you do that? And he got not one but two, so they on a roll. That means the fucked upness is strong in his family. So the chances of you having an autistic kid that's screaming and always misbehaving and who's feral and all these things that you mentioned would be pretty high. Exactly what you say that you don't want. But yet you see that there's evidence of it in his bloodline, like right there. And you thinking that having a kid with this man is a smart decision. You need to watch my video series called And Then What? Because you're not thinking about this right. Watch that video and then what? I'll try to remember to link it up here after the show. And it will guide you through how to think about, situations and things that you encounter before you make a decision that's stupid. Because you think about it. Well, okay, if I do A, then B, C, and D could happen, right? Maybe that's how you get to the and then what? And then you just, oh, well, B could happen, C could happen, D could happen. I wonder which one is likely to happen the most. Which one could I tolerate? Which one could I absolutely not take? Why is this a big gamble for me? That's how you have to think through things. But look at that video and it will help you, map the steps so that you think through your decision making processes a lot better than what you're doing right now. You're going on emotion, you're not being realistic. You would end up with some messed up kids. That's what would happen to you. Question 13. This is a female 22 to 27 from Carmel, Indiana. So I have an issue. My boyfriend just broke up with me and I feel really hurt. Everything happened because of a small argument we had. I have to admit that I got a bit jealous when he told me that he bought something for breakfast for his coworker because he's never done a gesture like that with me. He always says he doesn't have money, and yet you stay. I know it might sound silly, but he never had any details with me. And seeing that he does for someone else didn't feel good. He told me that I'm materialistic and that I only want to receive things, even though I never received anything from him. We didn't even see each other on Valentine's Day, and he's almost never had time for me. So then, how is he your boyfriend? I'm confused. A few minutes ago, he broke up with me over WhatsApp and blocked me. I couldn't even reply to his message. I just need to vent a bit because the situation has made me really sad. I don't know why. You was never really sounded to me like you was never really his girlfriend in the first place. You were just somebody that he screwed a couple of times. He gonna tell you about some stuff he did for another woman and how he spent money and stuff on her and he's never done anything for you. That alone should have been your sign to break up with him. But you have the nerve to stay with him and be talking about you hurt. Yeah, I broke up. Well, we never even got together because I was, we be in that talking to phase. I had met this guy. He was cute, smart. I forgot what he did. Oh, he's an engineer. That's right. And I liked them like nerdy types of dudes, but he had a little bit of a swag to him, a little swag, and he was, pretty decent looking. And so during one of our conversations, I'm just trying to figure out how his mind works and stuff. He's telling me about his last relationship with some woman he had been with. I think he said 7 years or something. I mean, a long time. For a long time. I was like, well, that's, I'm surprised you guys didn't get married. He's like, oh, we had talked about it, but something happened. And then he started talking about all the stuff that he used to do for her. Like, buy her stuff and she gave her a credit card and pays her, bought her car. I mean, he did all this kind of stuff. Now, I would not be looking for nobody that I wasn't married to do all that stuff for me. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm just telling you that, he was telling me all this fantabulous stuff he did for this girl. To go on vacations, all kind of stuff. And then he says to me, now keep in mind, trying to talk to me like, try to get something going. He tells me, well, I'll never do anything like that for a woman again. He says, and he said it with such venom. I said, well, why? I mean, why would you punish the new person for something that happened in the past? Because, women this and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, yeah, okay. And I moved him over to the friend zone just based on that. There's no need to argue with him or try to convince him otherwise or tell him you can't treat me like that. Ah, well, no, we didn't need to do all that. We not together. We're not a couple, so I really don't care. You know what I mean? He told me how he feels, and he's entitled to feel that way. That would be his money. That would be his credit. You know what I mean? I don't want to infringe on somebody like that. Like I said, I got plenty of money of my own. I don't really need his, but it's nice to know somebody might get you a little thoughtful gift every now and then. Like he's like he ain't gonna do shit. So I'm like, wow. Well, there's no point in hanging around with you forever. So I just moved him to the friend zone. And we stayed friends for a few more years after that, friendly. But that was as far as that's when the brakes went up. So whatever was getting ready to try to go off, it didn't happen. So let's move on. Question 14. We got 20, did I say 27 questions today? Young lady, 22 to 27. She's Latina from Austin, Texas. Third issue, my boyfriend and his family are driving me nuts. I am with my boyfriend for 2 years, and sometimes I go to stay at his place for 2 to 4 days. He lives with his mom and his sister. Both are really nice, and his mom has no problem with me coming there. However, since some time, I noticed that each time I go to stay at his house, it's like I have become his wife. He will not iron his clothes or fold his laundry. When I tell him to do his chores, his mom will say, "It's your chores now." And suddenly she'll tell me that there are his clothes to wash. Each time I go there, there are chores waiting for me too. I have no trouble giving a hand, but now I feel like I'm already the wife doing his things. I told her how I felt, and he told me not to do the chores. But how can I refuse his mom when she asks lots of questions as to why, and it puts pressure on me? Another thing, I hate human interactions. I have a job where I have to interact with people the whole day, console them, and give advice. And by the end of the day, I just want to stay quiet at home. I already, since the beginning, I've told my boyfriend that. But at his house, they are closely packed families, means each week his mom will go to their grandparents' house or the aunt's house. When I refuse to go and say that I'm tired, she doesn't like it. And even my boyfriend gets angry at me that I'm not going to his relative's house only for some hours. Even though he visited my relatives only once in our relationship, only to meet them as my partner, that's all. Third is the most of the time I try to plan a date for both of us. Most for both of us, it ends with him calling his sister, cousin, or friend to join us. When I say that I want us to be alone, he tells me that what if my sister wants to come or my mom? Or he will say, let's invite my cousin. He will like this. I don't have a problem with his family and friends, but sometimes I just want to have some couple time. Can you advise me? I know my boyfriend loves me and try to be a good boyfriend and defends me when his mother says anything bad about me. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to defend you because you shouldn't be there all the time. Hey, Mo, I'm going to suggest this. Roll back the times that you go to his house. Don't stay there for 2 to 4 days. Roll in there, stay for a few hours, and take your ass home. Don't be there to do all his chores and traipse around going to his relative's house and all that kind of stuff. That's not your role. You're not his wife. But you stick around there 2 to 4 days, eating up all their food and using their water and soap and all that stuff, they're going to want to feel they're getting something out of the deal. That's what that's about. So that's you investing your labor in exchange for the resources that you use up while you're there, 2 to 4 days a week. That's too much to be at somebody's house. That's why you get treated like you already family because you be there too much. I would never do that. Most I go to my boyfriend's house is one day. I'll be there one night and I'm gone the next day. Now, the one time he stayed at my house for 2 days, I was pacing my apartment. I was like, "Oh my God, when is this motherfucker leaving?" Just like a caged lion. I was with him Friday after, Friday from like noon. He picked me up from work early. We was together all Friday. We was together all Saturday. And then Sunday, I was expecting him to get up and leave. He still just sits his butt on my couch and he had got some beer and was sitting there watching football, just enjoying himself like he lived there. And I was like, I want you to go. I told him, I want you to go home now. And his feelings were so hurt, but I couldn't help it. I needed my space. And so he never stayed more than one night again after that till we got there. Ooh, I know that's pretty bad, but what can I do? That's how I am. It just was too much. All right, let's move on. Question number 15. Why is my nose tickling? Question number 15. This is a female 35 to 41. She's black from Charlotte, North Carolina. Summary of issue. Am I an awful mom for taking the best pieces of what I cook for myself? I cook dinner every day, or what you would realistically say is every day, except for the occasions we get takeout or something. I wasn't directly called an a-hole for this, but there was a remark of you get the bigger piece, better piece, huh? Just to make a point, people listening should not think it was a big enough difference to leave someone hungry. I cook more than enough food, often too much. It's not supposed to be a relationship thing, but I cook for my partner and our child. Our kid is too young to eat our food, so I make him a separate meal. We're typically talking minuscule levels of bigger piece of meat or a better sear or whatever else qualifies as a quote better piece. I'm way bigger than my partner, practically literally almost twice his size. I don't always take the best piece, but I would say I do it more than I give it. It's not 50-50 skewed towards me taking it more often than giving it. As I pointed out, if there's a piece of something I know my partner likes more than I do, I'll happily give that piece, even if I also like it, if I know it's his favorite. I feel like I'm the one who figures out what we're going to eat. I do the grocery shopping. I cook the food. Then I may have the right to decide who gets who when plating up. Am I greedy? Be assured nobody leaves the table hungry. There's usually leftovers 99% of the time. I also want to point out that if we get takeout or something like that, I'll offer up whatever I think he might like. It's just that when I cook the meal and such, I feel like I can take the good cut. I don't see anything wrong with that. I've often said that myself. There's a video on this channel called The Burnt Toast Syndrome, and it talks about how women, especially mothers and wives, are socialized to like if they cook some toast, the piece that's burnt, they're gonna give everybody else the nice pieces, and they're gonna take the burnt piece for themselves. They usually, plate their food last after everyone else is served, even though they're the ones standing in the kitchen and doing all the stuff that you talk about, all the shopping, all the cooking, all the loading into the cabinets and refrigerator, pulling that shit out, arranging the menu, chopping, cooking, searing, baking, all of that stuff. And usually the dishes too, unless you got kids old enough to do it. It's a lot. Got to put it then whatever's left over, you got to put that away too. Then you make lunches for, with the leftovers sometimes. That's a lot. Why would a woman who has to do all of that not get any benefit from it? Like being able to get the choicest piece of whatever it is that she cooked. She should get her food first, not last. She did all the work. She should get served first, not the husband who's sitting on his butt watching TV waiting for it to get served. A lot of women be like, well, he's the man in the house. I don't give a fuck. Was he in there cooking? Do you work? If you work and you bringing in half the income, sometimes women be making more. Then he's not the man of the house. Okay, he's your partner. Y'all is equal. Okay, you putting his man of the house kind of stuff. It makes it seem like he's here and you're here. And you have to defer to him and all this kind of stuff. That he's more deserving than you just because he's got a dingling. No. So I don't have any problem with what you're talking about because I used to do the same thing. Why is it kept? I just never talked about it. I just would look over there and politely put the pieces that I want on my plate and then tell them come fix their plate. My plate was already fixed and I walk in the room with my plate and sit down and let them go in there and fix theirs from what's left. I sure do. Still like that now at my auntie's house. My hungry cousins be over there, and I cook, and I get my stuff first, cause it's like they're all boys, males, and they just greedy. They just eat everything. They're like locusts. So if I don't get mine first, I might not get any. So I fix auntie's plates, I fix my plate, and then we go sit down and let them do whatever they're gonna do with what's left. That's how it goes. Question 16 of 27, I think. This young lady's 20 to 34 of mixed racial heritage out of Dallas. The male is also 20 to 34. He's black. I'm 32. My boyfriend is 31, and we have been together for 6.5 years. Lately, I've been feeling like he isn't really too committed to like how I once thought he was. He was showing me something online, and I seen that his recent search was a page for MILFs, in the area that we live in. When I looked at it myself, it was basically posts stating who wants to meet up or who wants this favor done, explicit pictures, etc. Oh, things that would basically be considered cheating if someone in a relationship were to respond. I brought it up, and he said he wasn't looking, he just came across it. If he had seen a page dedicated to the opposite for guys in one area of my search, he'd question that, and I feel he would wonder if I'm considering stepping out. But would he even care? He has not, since being together, proposed to me. I feel 6 years is way more than enough time to settle. He blames it on money, but I don't need an expensive ring, and we won't get married the day after anyway. I made him leave the other day. Maybe he wouldn't step out, but why cross that boundary? Why is he not showing that he wants nobody else to have me? What if he planned to propose this year? But what if we get far into the next new year and still nothing? Was I wrong for making him leave? No, you should have done that 5 years ago. I don't understand why you would let somebody use that excuse of no money. Do you know when men really want to be with a woman, they'll get two jobs. They'll have two jobs. They have a regular job and they'll have a weekend job. They do some kind of little part time something in the evening or on the weekend or something because they're saving money for their wedding. They're saving that money. You don't have that. So kicking him out now, I mean, I know you feel like it hurt you and you're doubting it. You did absolutely the right thing. Basically, what you're doing is letting him continue to waste all your 20s, which is your prime, mating time. You're letting him waste it with his indecision and lack of forward movement. So you 28 to 34 age group, look for guys, that's like, in their mid to upper 30s. There's plenty of them out there. Some of them might be divorced, might have a kid, but they'll be more ready to settle down and have a more, stable mindset. If you just want to get married, I mean, that's all I'm admitting to. But just look for men a little older, more settled, and more stable. Question 17. This is a female, 20 to 34. She's Caucasian from Portland, Oregon. The male's 42 to 49. Okay, she's 20 to 34. He's 42 to 49. Wow. So an issue. I can't take it, and I'm going to leave my boyfriend. I am 30 and have been with my boyfriend. He is 45, no, 46, excuse me, for about a year. We live together. He has 3 kids with 2 different exes, and I don't have any children, but I want some. We got together. He agreed to get a reverse vasectomy so he could give me a child. Even if that doesn't work, I was okay with that because of how he treated me and made me feel. At the beginning, things were honestly amazing. He treated me incredibly well. He was very attentive, emotionally intelligent, always included me with his friends, open doors, etc. We met at work, and at the time, he had a super flexible schedule. He'd leave during the day to go to a bar and play golden tea, which I didn't love, but he was always home when I got off work and still showed up for me. But about a month ago, he started a new job. Now he has to be at work at 7 a.m., so no more daytime drinking or leaving work whenever he wants. Since then, his behavior toward me has completely changed. He has become extremely aggressive and constantly assumes I'm doing things to upset him. Here's a couple of examples. On Monday, he was picking at me over small things. I kept saying okay to avoid escalating it, and he snapped, yelling, F that, okay, 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 and slammed the truck door and stormed off. He said that me saying okay was me shutting down, but it's actually just me throwing the white flag. He didn't believe that one though and said that I said okay to upset him. On Wednesday, he got upset that I opened the blinds during the day so my dog could look outside while I'm at work. He accused me of doing it intentionally to, quote, create more work for him because he has to close them at night. I apologized and said I'll try to remember to close them, but he kept pushing, saying that he didn't want an apology. He wanted to know why I'd do that in the first place. Then last night, I told him I had to reschedule a weekend trip for my mom's 60th birthday. The original weekend didn't work with my job, so I moved it. He asked if he had his kids that new weekend, and when I said yes, he accused me of scheduling it that way on purpose, so he'd be stuck with his kids and couldn't, quote, go out and have fun. That turned into a bigger argument. Okay, so then some. I wanted to break up, and he said yes. I told him I'd need 30 days to quit my job and move closer to my family and find a new job. I offered to pay rent for that time. He agreed. Now I'm second guessing things. Part of me seems like this might be a wake up call and he'll go back to how he used to be. But another part of me feels like this is who he actually is when he's stressed or not getting his way. Okay, then she talks about his 15-year-old daughter. She says she feels like she's walking on eggshells around him lately and wants to live with her mom now full time. She says she makes $1,500 every 2 weeks and can't afford to live in her own apartment. So I unfortunately have to move back to my hometown with my parents, save up for a few months, and then buy a home. I have a VA home loan. I love my job, but I would be leaving it. I find leaving it really hard. But I also feel like I can't keep living like this. Would it be wrong to follow through with leaving instead of giving him another chance? Nope. I mean, how many chances do you girls want to give somebody? I mean, the man's showing you who he is, right? Why do you want to think that if you wait around that he's gonna change? You're not married to him. He wants to break up. So, a man tells you he doesn't want you anymore. There's nothing for you to think about other than that. So you like, well, what about this? And what if you change? Okay, that's didn't even be in your consideration because the man told you to your face that he doesn't want to be with you. He wants to break up. Let that sink into your big head and then start packing your shit and get the hell out of that apartment. That's what you need to do. Talk to your parents. Maybe they can loan you some money to help, so you can move faster and be in the area. Because a lot of times people don't want to hire you. You're talking about, well, I'm going to move to the area. They want you there already. So talk to your parents and see if you can, grandparents, whatever you got, if they can get you some money together to get you a moving truck and move all your stuff back now. Okay. Versus you waiting around saving up the money. Do it now and leave this alone. This ain't going nowhere. Question 18. This young lady's 20 to 34 from Denver. The male's also 20 to 34. Some of issue. I'm becoming resentful towards my husband for letting his brother live with us. My husband and I have been married for 4 years and we have one young child. I'm 28, he's 32. My husband let his brother, who was 18 at the time, move in with us as he was trying to get a job at my husband's company. Fast forward to now, and he's still living with us. So that's for 4 years. Wait, how long has he? You don't. Was he been in the whole 4 years? Okay, you don't say. He pays an equal share of rent, but I feel like I've been raising a teenager and my baby at the same time. This kid never cleans up after himself. His space is constantly a mess. We have to get on him about contributing to cleaning the place. He spends outrageous amounts of money on his hobbies and often asks to borrow money. My husband and I have fought so much on how to deal with all of these situations. My husband's brother is a nice kid who loves my child. I believe he is genuinely a good person. I think he's funny. But living with him is becoming unbearable, and I needed to vent. We benefit from him paying to live here, and we do save some money. But I don't think my peace is worth this anymore. What should I do? Well, this is, your husband to take care of because that's his brother. Um, when he asks to borrow money, you should be saying no. You make plenty of money. You waste money on stupid stuff. So you just deal with it until you get paid again. We're not giving you a dime. We already let you live here. Okay, that's enough. Uh, cleaning up. He never cleans up after himself. Yell at him. You're the woman of the house and say, look, little motherfucker, clean up after yourself. I'm not your damn mother and I'm not your maid. What kind of shit is this? If you can't do better about keeping your space clean in the house, because you're going to have bugs and rodents up in here, if you can't do that, then you need to find a place to move and get out. If you don't get out, then I'll get out. And you tell your brother that his wife and kid are leaving. So it's either you or me. And see what he says. Because your husband, like you haven't really laid a line in the sand. Like you're just letting him, decide what to do with your life. And even if you did another room, rent the room out, you could have a roommate or somebody who has some damn sense. It doesn't have to be him. So you think about that. Are you ready to do that? Because that would be a firm line in the sand. I'm not going to clean up after him not one more time, and I refuse to live in a pigsty. So you either do something about it and you get him to straighten up and fly right and save some of his money so he won't stop asking us, or I'm going to move. Me and the baby will leave and you guys can have this house. And I hope Ben and Willard and all of them come up in here and pay you a visit. What a trip. Question 19. This is a young lady, 35 to 41. She's black from U.S. It says U.S. The male's 42 to 49, also African American. Some issue. I help raise my partner's kids while their mom is mostly absent. Now I'm meeting her for the first time. How do I navigate the tension? Hi, Deb. I've been with my partner for 4 years, living together for two. He has two teen daughters and I have children of my own. 2 years ago, their mother moved out of state to pursue a relationship, leaving him as a full-time parent. She contributes minimally and very inconsistent child support and only sees him about 30 days a year. Since then, my partner has taken on everything from finances, appointments, school, and daily care. I've naturally stepped into a very hands-on role as well. I am actively involved in helping care for them as needed, especially when my partner travels for work. I've also had to step in during emergencies, including taking one of the girls to urgent care and even following an ambulance to the hospital from her school, all while trying to keep both parents informed in real time. Despite being disinvolved in their lives, I've never actually met their mother. Our only real interaction has been during those emergencies. She texts me asking for my last name without context. And when I text asking why, she responded with comments like, from one mother to another, there should be no hesitation. And she's my daughter. It didn't feel collaborative. It felt accusatory, especially given as I was the one physically there caring for her child. Also overheard her demanding to be taken off of speakerphone while speaking with her daughter while I was in the hospital room with the kid. This made me feel like she may have been speaking negatively about me. Fast forward. Now we'll be meeting for the first time at this graduation. Their oldest daughter and my daughter will be graduating from the same high school. My partner has been discussing what celebrations might look like afterwards. I expressed that I don't feel comfortable doing any sort of joint celebration given the lack of relationship and what I perceive as underlying tension, and I prefer to keep things separate to avoid awkwardness or conflict. Am I wrong for not wanting to celebrate together? I suggested to my partner that she celebrate with her mom, her side of the family, and we do something in another day with his daughter and mine. Also, how should I approach meeting her in person for the first time, given the role I've played in her children's lives without ever having any real interaction with her? Thank you in advance. Oh my God, this is just so much going on. Hold on, I gotta go back to go back a page. I shouldn't have put this up there. Okay. So daddy does all this work and you care for the kids even when um he's out of town and you are the sole person left. Do you have any legal paperwork giving you the right to step in and make decisions like such as medical decisions for those children? If you do not, then y'all is lagging and not handling your business. Those kids live there with you. He's gone. And then the mother's wherever she is, states away, wherever. Go have him go to an attorney and make sure he handles that medical power of attorney in his absence. So you can have the right to make medical decisions for them. Okay, and that's one thing. Number two, um, she asked you for your last name. Of course, she asked you for your last name. Why would you be tripping about that? You in the house with her kids, taking care of them and making decisions that affect their lives. You should have offered your full name and a way to contact you. You should have done that on your own. She shouldn't have to ask you for that. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, now the next thing is, and you tripping talking about it felt accusatory and all this kind of stuff here. Like I said, if you had done what you were supposed to do from the outset, then this situation would have never developed. Okay, she demanded to be taken off a speakerphone. Um, so I mean, why do you think that she shouldn't that she don't deserve to have privacy to talk to her own daughter? Not everything that she's gonna talk about you need to hear. That's her kid. That's her conversation. You shouldn't be feeling getting any kind of feelings about it. You know, if you was talking to your daughter, you wouldn't want to be on speakerphone for the whole world to hear either. It's just a respect thing. Plus, you don't know who's in the room listening. I mean, it might be like, the people visiting the folks next door and all. I mean, she's in a ward, there's other people. It's just too much going on there. Everybody don't need to hear a conversation. Okay, so now you're going to be meeting for the first time at the graduation. Um, you're going to be gracious. You're going to say, oh, it's so nice to meet you. Your daughter's wonderful. We just really enjoy her. That cranky bullshit that parent people be making up. And make sure, you give her little daughter a little present and you do it there at the graduation so her mama can see. Make sure that everybody knows it's just from you. Right. Now, as far as this joint celebration, have you discussed this with your daughter? Or are you just making this decision? You're just going to decide for every damn body. Your daughter is her party. She's the one graduated from high school. Ask her what she wants. This is not for you to decide. You already graduated a long time ago. Okay, this ain't your event. You are there to facilitate and make whatever she wants happen. That's what you're there for. This ain't about you. You just all on, y'all just not feeling you at all here. What you're gonna do is go to your daughter and say, this has been proposed. I want to know how you feel about it. Do you want to do a joint party? In which you can, you guys seem to have a lot of the same friends or whatever, right? Go to same school. I mean, it would be probably more, you know, more expedient to do it that way. But if you want to have a separate event, with, or you want to do both. I mean, we could do, have a separate one with your grandparents or family or whatever. It's something later, or we can just, maybe a lunch or something, and then do this party. Whatever you want to do, just tell me what you want, and I'll make it happen. That's how you're gonna do this, because it's about her. It ain't about you at all. Okay? Yeah, you stay out of this. It's not have shit to do with you. The only part that you're gonna do is write a check. That's all you're gonna do. You're gonna pay for it. Okay? It's your daughter's graduation. It's her graduation party. It's her event. It's her heart. It's her mind. It's her desire. What her wants. You're just being there to make sure that it happens. Question number 20 of, I think, 26. Did I say 27? Young lady, 20 to 34, from Albany, New York, male, same age group. Third issue: I woke up in the middle of the night and found my boyfriend awake, sitting on the couch in the other room in the dark, complete dark. And I thought it was weird. I asked him what he was doing, and he got mad at me about it. Okay, that's the longest summary I've ever seen. I'm 31, and I randomly woke up at 12:45 a.m. and saw that my boyfriend, he is 33, wasn't in bed. All of the lights were off in the apartment. So I got up and I walked out into the living room, and I see him sitting on the corner of the living room couch, awake but in the dark. That's odd, right? Something in me just feels off about this, especially since we don't have an active love life anymore. In 2025, we were intimate twice. Okay. I've asked him before if everything is okay, and he has told me that everything is fine. I've asked him before if his feelings have changed, possibly, and if that's so, it's fine, and we can talk about it because those things happen. And he actually got really upset and said that he really does love me and doesn't want to be asked again whether or not he loves me. Love schmub. Love ain't everything. Anyway, sitting on a couch like this was odd, not gonna lie. And I asked, "What the fuck are you doing?" Not in an aggressive tone, just generally in a what the fuck way, because generally, what the fuck? He said he couldn't sleep and was just sitting in the dark on the couch. I asked again what he was doing though, because I just looked odd. And he flew off the handle and said, "I don't have to explain every detail of my life to you." Oh, defensive much, are we? And stormed back into the bedroom and laid in bed, which I generally came out of nowhere because I don't harp on him. We have our independence of each other, and we have good boundaries too. All of this was a bit upsetting to me, to be honest, because it felt like an eruption slash attack out of nowhere, on top of sort of being weird. I've known this dude for 4 years. Something just isn't sitting right with me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for something to be wrong just because our relationship seems to be off due to lack of intimacy. Your relationship is off because your boyfriend is gay. Your boyfriend is dipping with men, and he gonna talk and be in the living room talking to his little boyfriend or texting with his little boyfriend or other males. That's the only thing that comes to mind. He's doing that. That's why he hasn't slept with you, because he's sleeping with his boyfriend. Now you say, well, you worrying about love. You don't worry about love in a situation like that. You worry about, are your needs getting met? And for a woman in her mid-30s to be called herself in a relationship and she ain't getting no dang-a-lang from her alleged love partner, that's a problem. Why you don't see it as one, I'm not really sure, but there's no way that this should be happening like this. You know, it can't be anything else. Because the popcorn thing, they look at they. I mean, you would have seen evidence of that. He would have got caught long ago doing that. You would have seen it. He would have talked about it. Something would have happened. I'm sure I'm right. Now, the only thing you have to think about is this relationship meeting your needs, and how long you want to continue to be in a relationship that doesn't meet your needs. He's gonna stay there because you're good cover. He's probably not ready to come out the closet yet. So you're covered. What they call it, a beard. He can pretend like he's a normal heterosexual guy. He's in a relationship. He living with a woman. He loves her. But his true passion is for someone else. So you think about that. And if you can think of a better solution, better reason for it, then you run with that. But I 99.9% believe that I am right. Everything points to that. You just happen to wake up this time. You just haven't been waking up. Question number 21. This young lady, 28 to 34, another female, 35 to 41. So I have an issue. I'm struggling to tell a friend I can't share an apartment with her on a trip because she's a terrible roommate. Hey, Deb and squad. This is my first time writing in, although I've watched the show for at least 5 years. I hope I'm doing a good job with my submission. So here goes. For the 3 to 4 years, I have done a yearly trip for the industry I work in with 3 friends. The trip is 10 days and is long, stressful, and exhausting, but really fun overall. I'm 33 and I normally book our apartment and it's shared with my friends Rosie, who's 32, Lisa, who's 40, and Matt, who's 33. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, Lisa has proved okay, which one was Lisa? That's the 40-year-old. Yeah, Lisa's the 40-year-old, the oldest one. Has proven to be a nightmare. She has repeatedly locked us out of the apartment. We just had one key and she kept falling asleep. Ate other people's food and used their toiletries without asking. Left the apartment a mess, toothpaste all over the sink, vomit and poop in the toilet bowl, etc. And left a bag of trash and a broken bottle outside the apartment, which she didn't clean up, which would have forfeited my deposit and potentially impacted my Airbnb rating had I not done it for her. On top of this, she gets quite drunk and someone usually has to babysit her. We confronted her about her behavior in 2024 when it first happened, and she apologized and said that she would be more considerate in the future. We gave her the benefit of the doubt and room with her again last year, but she was even worse. We were all extremely angry and confronted her again and asked if there was anything else going on that was causing her behavior. She said no, apologized again, and we haven't spoken about it since. But the trip is coming up to the time where we have to book it for this year. Rosie, Matt, and I do not want to stay with Lisa. We will still be doing the work trip, but we are hoping to room just the 3 of us. Getting individual places is not an option as accommodation costs are extremely high in this location. You have to find somewhere as a group to be able to afford the trip. However, none of us knows how to explain this to Lisa. We know it's a horrible thing to hear people say they don't want to stay with you on a trip, even though we feel our reasons are valid. This is complicated by the fact that I also work with Lisa. Rosie and Matt do not, but we collectively are all friends with her. So I have to communicate with her weekly. I do like her as a person, but I just cannot face another 10 days of her as the world's worst roommate in what is already a stressful work environment. Any depth style advice on how we might handle this? I'm a firm believer in just being direct. Tell Lisa, like Lisa, Matt, Rosie, and I are going to get a room, and you're not going to be in the room this year. We've given you 2 chances, and both times you've blown it. You promised to do better, but you didn't. And then rattle off some of the stuff that she did. Say, we're sick of that shit. You're a 40-year-old woman and you can't believe that this is how you act. So you either get your own place or you don't go. Those will be the two. That's pretty much it. Those are your 2 options. Now, you think I wouldn't say that? Seeing you don't know me very well. One thing Deb don't like to do is get her nerves worked. And the older I get, the less I like it. Because the older you get, the less you only have your nerves start to disappear, you use them up. They go away, they dry up. So, I'm down to like 2 nerves now, maybe 3. I haven't reached that last nerve yet, but that's coming. Oh no, I touched something on my phone that's talking to me. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just be direct with her. Um, if necessary, you can explain it to the HR people at your job and ask for some direction from them too and see what they say. Since you guys work together, it could come down to an issue that might be a run up the chain to HR. So you could do the preemptive strike and say, what you want to do and ask would there be any problem, any impact on your on the work and see what they say. But yeah, if it's not, that's definitely how I would do it. Question number 22. You probably will, Ash. I figured that'll probably happen about 10 years. I'll probably still be doing this show. 'Cause, I just lived to be grumpy. Yes, it is. Happy Friday. You right. It's Friday. Yay. Question number 22. This is a young man, 35 to 42, from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Summary of issue. My new answer to quote, any fun plans this weekend? It's going to be a rundown of all the normal human things I do. Who seriously has time to plan exciting, fun things every weekend as a grown adult? That's true. I'm a guy. I'm cleaning the garage. I'm doing laundry. I'm headed to the dog park. I'm parenting, all after working all week and doing the same thing. And if that bores you to death, bye. I could never be with someone that neglected normal life responsibilities to go to concerts and skiing or road trips every single weekend. The question itself, any fun plans, is awkward and sets a bad tone because then I want to explain as a grown person with a kid that I don't do exciting, fun, adventurous things every weekend of my life. That doesn't all make me boring, but in our upper 30s or 40s, you seriously expect, yeah, I'm just heading to Vegas for a couple of nights. Every time you ask that question, come the fuck on. What exactly am I supposed to respond with? Should I lie? Or maybe people should just stop asking this question. Talk about something else. There's so many things to talk about. If I go out with you, we'll have a blast. I make a lot of fun plans. I go on trips. I'm spontaneous. But normal everyday life is just that. I just want to be with someone who can understand weekends don't always mean planning fun things. The fact that you asked a specific question makes me think you dodge responsibility like the plague, or it traps me into being honest and boring because I have normal grown up life things to do. I'm definitely wanting fun and sparks and great connection. But any solid relationship will also be doing the day to day things. Yep. Living, dishes, mowing the lawn, cooking, and errands. And I prefer someone not to assume I just have a carefree fun every weekend because that's just not my reality. What are your thoughts? I'm trying to think if anybody, they asked me that question. I don't know. I'll probably just say, they asked me, do you have any fun plans this weekend? I was like, nope. I'm going to have fun with my pillow. I always give like, little bitch ass responses like that. Me and my mattress gonna have a sleep in, a sleepover or something. I make comments like that. And me and my vacuum cleaner, we gonna be doing it up. Something along those lines. I make it sound like it's a joke, but it basically communicates I'm just gonna be doing, just regular shit. Sketching up on stuff like you say, adult responsibilities, laundry, our fun stuff like, yeah, I bought this new kind of laundry soap. I'm gonna try it out this weekend. I tell you, it's in sheets, and you put them in there, and so you don't have to pour anything, or just not a powder. It's not getting everywhere. It's like a little sheet, just throw it in there. It's like, oh my God, this is so fascinating. I can't wait to try it out. Say something like that, I sure would. And it's true. I did get those. I am gonna try them this weekend. But yeah, I thought it'd be something easier for my auntie too, because them big old jugs of laundry, like if she want to put some stuff in the washing machine, she still gets around and stuff, you know what I mean? But of course, she don't have the strength to be lifting a giant jug, a Costco sized jug of laundry detergent. And I could divide it into something smaller. But then I thought about it, and I saw these little, they're laundry sheets. It's like it weighs like the weight of a piece of paper. Perfect. So I got those for her. So I'm gonna try them out tonight. Pods are good too. Oh, okay. I haven't seen any pods. I ordered this online. I do. I'm not going to no stores. I get everything online. So they sent it to the house. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is perfect. This is just what she needs. So yeah, we're gonna be trying that out to see how it washes and how it leaves my whites. Question 23. This is a female, 28 to 34 from Montreal, Canada. The male's also 28 to 34. So her issue. My boyfriend made a joke about my age in front of his friends. And she put a frowny face. I was out to dinner with my boyfriend and his male friends. My boyfriend is 32. Okay, why would you do that? A bunch of dudes? Why would you do that? Okay. My boyfriend is 32 and I'm 29. Someone at the table asked my birthday year, and my boyfriend made a joke comment like, "Oh, I'm disappointed it didn't start with a 2." Meaning he's disappointed I'm not younger and born in the 2000s. He's always had a sense of humor like this, but this felt really upsetting because he basically made a joke about my age in front of all of his friends. Especially given how much pressure there is on women and beauty and aging, it just felt like a vulnerable thing to joke about in front of his friends who undoubtedly already judged me head to toe anyway. Deb, I'm very distraught about this, and I don't know if I'm justified or what to do. Can you help me? Yes, and anytime that a man says a comment and it causes you to feel bad about yourself in as any way, and they did it on purpose, to me, that's grounds for a good fuck you, and I'm out. But a lot of girls like, well, you break up at the sign of me. I don't even care because see, what you don't understand is this is a marked lack of respect. The fact that he would do something like this and do it in front of all his friends to try to make himself look big and to entertain everybody and have them laughing at you, the woman he's supposed to be protecting and loving. He used you as the brunt of a joke to make himself look like the big shit, to make himself look like he's important. I was so cussed his ass out, like, right there on the spot. You think I'm kidding? I had to stand up and cuss him out and say, "Fuck you. I'm done here. Don't you have to talk to me ever again, and you don't need to worry about how old or young I am, because I hope I never see your monkey ass ever again." And then I would have stormed off, and that would have been the end of that. His friends want to show, here you go. You want some shit to laugh out? Laugh at his ass now, sitting up there with his cracked face. I wish I would let some man talk to me like that. And I don't light his ass straight up. Girl, I know you young. But no, you ain't that young. You said you 28 to 34. You 28 to 34. That's not that young. He's 32 and you 29. And that's the best he could do as a 32-year-old adult male. That shows you he's got arrested development and he's stupid. You don't stay with a man who proves himself to be stupid and disrespectful. That's not a good choice for a boyfriend. Anytime they want to pick at you and make you the brunt of jokes for a group of people like that, so that he has all these people laughing at you and looking at you weird and stuff, and he feels good about what he just did to you, that's a sign. I mean, you shouldn't even been writing me except to tell you how you cussed him out and told him to kiss the inside of your ass. That's what you should have been doing. You don't stay with a man like this. You do not let a man treat you like this. This is I can't even imagine how long and hard I would have been cussing him out for that. But that's the main thing, that you've internalized all of this instead of directing it back out. That double reverse Uno thing. What comes in is supposed to come right back out. He's hurting you, is supposed to go shoot right back to him. Wow. It's just, see, I'm telling you, it's like, what in the world is going, it's like these girls don't have any understanding of self-respect, of respecting, of for making a man respect them or leaving his ass. You don't stay with somebody who doesn't respect you. Any man who even think that something like this is an appropriate thing to do to his girlfriend or wife is not someone that you should even waste 1 second with. He doesn't deserve you. He doesn't deserve any woman because he don't know how to fucking act as a caveman. Just stupid. And still got that frat boy mentality at 32 years old. He's an idiot. Can you imagine him being somebody's father, acting like that as a role model for his son of behavior? Oh, that would be scary. Lady, if you don't listen to nothing else I say, I want you to call him today and tell him that we are done. I am not going to have a man in my life rewarding him with my love, my affection, my time, my attention, and my body who doesn't respect me. That is the sentence that you're supposed to tell him. And then you mean it and you block him and you never speak to him again. You don't tolerate this kind of behavior. Like I told you, girls, if a man doesn't respect you, he can't possibly love you. He's with you for the creature comforts that you provide, which is usually some booty, sometimes a place to stay. You might cook and stuff for him and all that stuff. You're providing him with services, but that doesn't mean he loves you. He likes what you do for him. That's about it. As soon as he finds a woman that'll do more for him or that, he actually does like, he's gonna leave you because he doesn't respect you, which means he can never love you. Please let this go. Have some kind of pride in yourself. This is ridiculous. Ooh. Question number 24. This young lady's 35 to 41 from Davenport, Iowa. Summary of issue. I need advice, obviously. Well, I guess, huh? That's true. I've been in a relationship for just about 3 years with a dude, and after leaving a terrible marriage. Everything started off great. I felt like I was on cloud nine, and he treated me absolutely perfect. About 3 months in, I had a conversation with one of my old good friends that was friends with my ex-husband, which we became best friends too. We were having a conversation over Messenger, joking around as we always have. And at one point, there was a sexual joke that him and I both knew were told in a joking manner. But then my current boyfriend found about it and read it. He has since then not She has since then have had trust issues with me. Girl, your English is situation and stuff is kind of off. Okay, he has since then have had trust issues with me and doesn't believe the things that I say. He constantly needs reassurance and is scared to lose me in our relationship. After 3 years, he still does not trust me or believe me when I explain certain events that do not include him. Today, I forgot my phone at home while running a quick errand to the store, and he tracks my location. He then came to my house and asked me if I stepped out, and I say yes, but I forgot my phone. He now doesn't believe that I just went and ran my one errand and thinks I've done something else. I cannot hang out with my girlfriend without him wanting to be involved or has the thought of other men will be around and makes comments like, oh, make sure you look good for someone else. After 3 years of constant accusations and questioning, and I mean completely loyal, faithful, and trusting as I'm 40 years old, and do not care to seek another man, let alone seek attention. But because I am on the better looking side, he thinks that I would jump ship. It's very exhausting, and I do not want to go another year constantly defending myself with this man and having to reassure him. Deb, what would you do? Deb would, the first time he asked me a question or accused me of anything, would have been over. I don't do jealousy. I don't do it. Don't you ask me shit. Don't you ask me who's on my phone. Don't you ask me where I was. Don't you ask me when I got back, when I'm getting back, where I was, who else, or nothing. If I want you to know, I'll tell you. I'll volunteer the information. If I don't you dare ask me. Because see, now you need up in my business. I don't ever ask men those questions. You know why? Because I don't give a shit where, like I said earlier, I don't give a shit where they were. I don't care what you did. I care about what I did and where I was. Okay, now if you care about where I was and what I did and you cared that much, you would have been with me. But since you weren't, then all your power to ask me about it is removed. Unless you was in the hospital or something and it's completely unable to come with me, well then that's another story I might tell you then. But you just well I got other stuff to do and then you want to start grilling me? No, we're not doing that. I don't know where they do that at, but it ain't here. Okay. So, you've been taking this for 3 years. I would have took this for 3 hours. That is the difference between us. So, I don't know what to tell you. He's going now that you got him used to, responding. He's gonna be like, having problems if you try to leave. He's gonna be like, well, why? It was never a problem before, and he'll be right. So what's your excuse gonna be? What you gonna say? See, these are kind of things, you have to, whatever kind of way you want to run a relationship with a man, you have to start from day one. You don't let them get away with a whole bunch of bullshit and then come years later, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later, talk about, well, I don't like that. I'm gonna break up. He gonna look at you like you crazy, and it'll be a valid thing that he's doing because you would have done some crazy stuff for years. You stand up for yourself and you establish firm boundaries with men from day one. The very first time he said something about, and he want to track your location, whatever I would have went to say you out of most people have Apple phones. I like Windows and I use a Google phone. Went to the place and told them anything that's a tracker on my phone, I want you to take it off and anything and put something on there that is an anti-tracker. So somebody tries to install a tracker or something, make sure they don't have the password. They can't install nothing on my phone. That's what I would have done. I don't want nobody. You're not tracking me. And they have them little things, them little things you can, yeah, exactly. This has just been a thing for the last couple of years, Leandra. I never had this problem like this before. It was more specific, like one time kind of things. Now it's like a pattern, and it's not just a pattern over a couple of months. I mean, these women are dealing with this shit for years. This is new. This mentality that the girls have, they've been doing this shit for 30 something years. So I know a trend when I see one. This is new. This is like the last, I'd say, 8 years or so. This slowly, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. The tolerance for bullshit that these girls take from men is just like epidemic now. It's ridiculous. And they all have the same mentality. Like they all think it's okay. Oh, you know what? Oh, never mind. I'm gonna talk about it during May days. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna talk about it now. Wait, yes, I am gonna talk about it now. We can talk about some more on May days. I read some study as they did the survey, and they asked girls, have you ever been choked by a dude during Nook Nook, right? The percentage of girls that said yes was like 80 something percent. And I'm thinking, okay, then this article was saying how it causes brain damage. These girls, the dudes aren't medical experts, right? So their brains are being deprived of oxygen over and over again for these periods of times. They're suffering brain damage in order to please these men in bed. And I had already said that if somebody tried to choke me, he better be prepared to lose his life because I'm getting ready to kill you. Because I'm going to see that as a direct attack. You trying to hurt me. You trying to kill me. You're cutting off my air to make so I can't breathe. To me, that's attempted murder, and I'm gonna go all out on your ass, and you better hope that you live through it. Don't you dare put your hands on my throat. That shit is not funny. That is not sexy. It's not exciting. It's some shit from them popcorn movies. And here they go trying to, and stupid men as usual, gonna try to emulate some shit they see in an entertainment vehicle and bring it into real life. And you dumbass girls letting them do it. Okay, you suffering brain damage. You doing stuff up the butt, and you having to get surgeries to prepare your rear ends. You girls need to do better. All of this stuff is all based on respect. You don't respect yourselves. You think that these men are more worthy of more respect, and you have to go through all these changes to get them and keep them and all this shit. Fuck those assholes. You don't let them do shit to you like that. That's gonna destroy your body, destroy your mind. Also, they can bust one. Have you lost your mind, girl? I'm telling you. I mean, whatever happened to people just being normal, just doing normal shit? They used to call it love making. Now they use all these other euphemisms and it's all got all this freak weird shit connected with it. I don't know, but when I saw that, the studies about how many girls are getting brain damage from this stuff now, from being repeatedly, sh- the brains repeatedly deprived of oxygen over and over and over again for prolonged periods of time, that was scary. I just don't get it. Anything that has to do that could set you up to permanently damage your body or take your life, you should not allow a man to do it to you. And if he insists on it, then you just, you know, all bets are off. Like you said, you got some kind of weapon, you better bring it out and use it on his ass in case he's one of them kind that don't insist. You insist if you want to, they be coming to get your ass. The coroner coming to get you for miles. We ain't doing that. Not doing that. I was horrified, you guys. I was like I said, I was trying to wait to talk about it during May days, but by then, because I have a friend who works at a university, I'm trying to get the actual report, but you have to have a subscription to this, this research journal and stuff, and I don't want to spend all that kind of money just to get one thing, but so I'm trying to, use my hookup with my friends at universities and see if somebody can get this shit for me. That's what I'm trying to do because I want to see the full report so we can talk about, the actual survey. I want to see the actual questions, who the what the survey, where they did this. And I want to see all the details. This was just like a summary that I read, like executive summary type thing. But it was horrifying enough. So yeah, that was something else. I just wanted to share that. Question number 25. Oh, wait a minute. We put this in there. This is the same question. Okay, question 26, which actually is 25. This male's 18 to 21. He's Asian Indian from the UK. Summer issue. Why do some people take small relationship issues so seriously that it leads to talk of ending things? Today, I overheard a situation that made me curious. A woman was on a call with her boyfriend, and she sounded both angry and hurt. From what I understood, they had planned to watch a movie together, but he had already watched it earlier with someone else. She got really upset and said things like he can go with whoever he wants. She won't go to the movies with him anymore, and even hinted at ending the relationship. She also mentioned that if she had done the same, he wouldn't have forgiven her easily. I didn't interfere since it was personal, but it did make me think. From my perspective, it seemed like a small issue, but her reaction was intense, like it affected trust or something much deeper. You're only 18 or 21, you stupid and you don't know. I'm a 21-year-old guy who has never been in a relationship, so I'm wondering, why do situations like this feel so serious to some people? Is it really about the movie, or does it represent something bigger like respect, priority, or trust? I would appreciate a detailed explanation. My parents never talked to me about these kind of things, Auntie. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll be nice to you, poor thing. I was mad at first. I'm like, what you doing asking me this? Okay, yes. Okay, so her boyfriend, yeah, I don't know, Mo. Her boyfriend made a promise to her that he was going to see a movie with her. So in her mind, they're going to spend this intimate time together. They're going to enjoy this together. They're going to have this shared experience. She's going to have, they're going to be paying attention to each other, probably in the movie theater holding hands and snuggling and being all cutesy wootsy. Okay. She's looking forward to this time with him. Then he pulls the rug out from under her, and all of it ends like, I've already seen the movie with someone else. Can you imagine her disappointment, her hurt because all the things that she wanted to do with him and the way that she imagined that they would be together are now not going to happen because he was so stupid and so selfish and only thought about himself or this other person and their needs that he went to see the same movie he was going to bring promise to take her to see with someone else. So did he prioritize his girlfriend? Nope. Did he prioritize his relationship with his girlfriend? Nope. Did he keep his promise to his girlfriend? Nope. Did he have any kind of thought for how that might impact, her idea of this date that they had formed, that she's formulating this evening that she's going to spend with him and how they'll get closer and they'll be intimate and they'll be close and cozy together. Did you think about any of that? Nope. He only thought about himself. So you're right. It's not about the movie. It's about what the movie and that time with him represents. That's what it's about. Yeah, he was totally okay with it. And like, it was like it's like no big deal. And so he can go with whoever he wants, and she won't go to movies with him more, and ending the relationship. And it's not a small issue. It's a huge issue because he, like I said, had no consideration, respect for, or concern about his girlfriend and her feelings and the promises that he made to her. For she's saying that she's hinting about ending the relationship, this would be something that you could end a relationship over because it detects a mindset. And the mindset, even though the situation might seem like it's a small thing, his mindset is that he doesn't prioritize her and her needs and her wants and his relationship with her. It's not a priority. Should a woman be in a relationship with a man who does not prioritize her and her needs? And the answer to that question is no. So in this case, her leaving him, what you perceive to be over this would be appropriate. But like I said, it's really not over this. It's over what this represents. This guy is an asshole and a jerk, and he doesn't really care about this girl. And the sooner she gets away from him, the better for her. Okay. Okay, let me see. I think this is the last one. Question 27, female 22 to 27 from Benin. The male's 35 to 41 and he's black, African American. Some issue. Did I overreact to a physical hyphen sexual aggression? I dated a guy 3 years ago. I wasn't his girlfriend and I didn't want to be. He was older, 39, and I was just 24. Girl, that is too old for you. I was just there for the good times. This happened before we had Nook Nook. I told him several times that I would not have Nook Nook without a C. No explanations, just clear statements. He agreed. I even made him buy them in front of me. But Deb, here's the twist. I'm a masseuse. I have a melodious voice, a soft, round face, and a bubbly personality. So when I have to be firm, it takes effort. People assume that because I'm pretty and smile a lot, that I'm nice. Well, no. I usually surprise people when they really get to know me. I have strong boundaries, and like you, I don't take no shit from men, especially when it comes to my body. So when I spoke to him, I looked him straight in the eye with a serious face. He said yes. Only for the day we finally did it, I intentionally waited longer to observe his behavior. He did put the C on and then he took it off. The moment he did, something felt off and I asked him to stop. That's when I realized he had taken it off. I took a deep breath and I asked him why. He said, because I wanted to. And he's still living? That motherfucker's not bleeding? She says, I lost it. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed a knife. That's my girl. That's what I'm talking about. And immediately called the police. He was so shocked and confused and hurt and angry. He tried to mock me, then scared as hell. I did not budge. I told the police I had just been sexually assaulted. They came right away and I explained everything. In the end, the officer told me they couldn't charge him since I had consented to Nook Nook. So technically, it wasn't considered R, blah, blah, blah. There was a man and a woman. Surprisingly, they were very compassionate. The woman tried to laugh at some point, but the guy police officer shut it down immediately and she stopped. What a bitch. Right after the police escorted me out, I never spoke to him again. The real twist came when I told my two cousins. They were shocked. How could you do this to him? How is he now? What are you now, a criminal? This is what you do now? You could see the disgust on their faces. My cousins are women between 28 and 35. They kept going. Well, men do this all the time. You can't react like this every time. What if he had become violent? That was their reaction. I was surprised and disappointed. I'm not very close to them, so it didn't really affect me deeply, but it got me thinking. Are women tolerating this every day? Yes. And worse, like I just said, they're choking shit. Is this normal? Am I the only one who considers this assault? Nope. And if you were in California, it would be. Was I doing too much? Because to me, it was simple. I told you repeatedly, I made myself clear. You pretended to understand and respect my boundaries just so you could violate me later? Oh, no, no, no. I was so angry. I'm still angry. I'm hurt. I'm betrayed. Dad, what could I have done better? How am I supposed to trust men now? Eventually, one of my friends told me that I didn't do enough. For her, he deserved a physical punishment. Yeah, I see I'm in that camp too. So 2 weeks later, I took matters into my own hands. I asked a friend of a friend to pass this picture to a gang, and they beat his ass. They even recorded a video telling him it was a message from me, and the friend of the friend showed it to me. He was in bad shape, broken ribs, his arm was twisted and broken, his left leg too. They kicked him so hard in the balls, I think something got seriously damaged. To my friend, I didn't say much, just the guy hurt me and I was emotional. He didn't ask any questions. Man, I felt nothing. I wanted to teach his ass a lesson. For me, there's no negotiation. Like you said in one of your shows, it's my way or the highway. But maybe I went too far. What do you think? I don't think you did. See, yeah, see, here in California, we have our laws are way more advanced on this kind of thing than the rest of the country. So here, but just because a woman said, if she says yes, she gives consent with a C, and then you remove the C, that moves into the category of assault because you have just exposed her to diseases and a pregnancy that she did not consent to, and that's why it's considered assault. But see, like I said, other places haven't really caught up to that yet. They done some, but see, I'm with you. I told you I used to have this friend, and this was a long time ago. I don't know how old dude might be now, but I used to have this friend. $50, and this was in the 80s. You pay him $50. He had a motorcycle, and it had one of those spike balls, like the old medieval things with the chain and the spike ball on the end. If you for $50, he would ride up on his motorcycle. He's all covered. Nobody could tell what he looked like. He would take his license plate off the motorbike. You give him the person's address. He'd ride up there and whack him a time or two with that metal ball. They would go down there, have broken bones and shit. Be like, oh yeah. A couple of dudes got whacked with that. One dude, this other dude had to get him because he did something to his little sister. His little sister was in high school, and this dude was in his mid to late 20s. And he caught the dude's sister. The dude didn't want to do it himself, but he paid Ben, and so Ben handled it. And Ben gave him some free wax because the girl was a minor. So stuff like that, he had like a code of ethics. But yeah, $50, he would ride around. We kept Ben's ass busy. But this guy, this particular guy, especially since you told him, he even went with you to buy. I mean, he just totally negated everything, every boundary that you had, every rule you put in place, and everything that you put in place to protect your body from exposure to any of the nonsense that he had going on. The only thing I'm going to tell you is this: in the future, if you're talking to a dude and you have to try to convince him by, all the things that you had to go through to get him, like to go buy him with you and all this kind of stuff, that should be your sign that he's not, just leave him alone. Okay, because a responsible man is going to come with you. He's going to come with it. He's going to say that this is what we should do. He might even say, let's go get a test in case something happens and it goes, comes off accidentally or something like that, or gets a hole in a crack in it. I mean, that doesn't happen as much anymore. Technology to manufacture them has really improved. But, it used to happen quite a bit. They would split and stuff. It was terrible. And so, he's gonna be more responsible. That's what you want. You want a guy who's on your same page with that kind of stuff, not one you have to do like this where you have to practically talk him into it. Okay, that's the only thing I could see that you might consider that you could do different. That's the only thing that I saw that kind of bothered me, that you had to go through all them changes to get him to see, to want to participate in putting on the C. All that talking you had to do, that was just too much. He never seemed to really be on that page, because I want him to be enthusiastic about it, and he wasn't. You had to like force him to do stuff. That's the only thing I see. That's the difference. But other than that, I think you did good. I love your end response. That's what you do. Because thugs, I mean, they just want to beat up somebody just on GP. So if you give them a reason and it's a valid one, like they feeling like they being the hero, because they get some revenge for like a girl who can't get revenge for herself, an old lady, a kid or something. They on a mission to do good for somebody. They were getting revenge for somebody who can't get it for themselves because they're too weak, too old, too small. They own it with their chest puffed out and like feeling like, oh, you know. So you did really good. I'm very proud of you. Keep up the good work. But yeah, you get with a dude and he don't want to wear one, he ain't volunteering to put on one, you leave his ass in the dust. Move on. Yes, honey, Ben. I wonder what happened to him. So I went away to college, and now after that I lost track of him. Changed his number, and I don't know where he could have went to jail for all I know. I don't know what happened to dude. But anyway, that is the show for today. I'm not even gonna lie and say I'll be back Sunday. I don't know that. That's when I'm supposed to be doing my shows, but just shit just keeps happening. It just keeps not happening. So I'll see you soon though. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscription button and the instant notification bell so you get the notice of when the show is scheduled. And if you want to submit a question for an upcoming show, just scan that QR code up there or go to debsterism.com and submit your submit your question. Get a little form will pop right up. Just fill it out and press submit, and then it'll come over to us. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming and sitting in with us. Sorry I've moved the show around so much lately, but I'm glad everybody keeps up with me. Okay. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye.